So right now our moves are a little bit wonky. Diggersby currently has Power Up Punch and Rock Tomb instead of Rock Slide and Brick Break. So those are the two moves that I want to switch out on him. So if there's any glaring weaknesses with the move choices there, it's because I don't have those TMs quite yet. As far as our scizor, I'm going to rework that so it's going to be a bulky scizor instead of being this all-out attacking scizor. But today's whole show is basically that I want to see what the weaknesses and strengths of this team are. So I know that I've got some weaknesses to entry hazards because I don't have a rapid spinner. I want to see what kind of damage that does to me, how bad that can be. But yeah, Jolteon really has no move pool. It's a really strong Pokemon, and it's really fast, but I can tell you that I kind of knew that we were going to win that one against Jolteon, just because I could have switched into Diggersby, resisted whatever electric move was going to happen. And then, as far as this battle, hi everybody, I'm DKG's Avos, let's get this battle started. This is a battle against, what's the name again? Garchomp37. I couldn't remember if it was Garchomp35 or 37, but it's Garchomp37 here on Twitch. We do have our prankster Klefki. I'm not terribly worried about Greninja. I really do. I do think that Greninja is an opponent that has to be respected, but I don't think that he's one that necessarily has to be feared. Hidden Power can be a powerful move, but you do have to pay attention when you're using him. He's currently Dark type, which is kind of interesting that he's got Taunt on there. Normally you've got something like Scald, Hydro Pump, or Surf as far as your stab move there. A lot of them run Ice Beam and like Grass Knot. But I mean, as far as Taunt, he kind of knows that I'm probably going to switch out because my Klefki, so he's just getting a free switch in there. Ooh, and into Blaziken, no less. Yeah, that's no bueno. Now, on the one hand, you could just keep it up with a scizor, and you could be like, alright, my opponent's not going to think that my scisor's going to stick around. Nobody in their right mind is going to stick around with a scizor. A bulky scizor would be able to resist a Brave Bird. That would be fine. Maryland's alright. Not a huge problem there. Recoil damage. We're going to get leftovers. Speed boost is pretty cool. But as far as that, should probably have like High Jump Kick, Brave Bird, and I mean High Jump Kick, something like that is probably going to take Maryland out. We're going to play a little bit risky though. I want to see what's going to happen. I don't know what Maryland's, like the extensiveness of Maryland's abilities are. So I'm setting up Aqua Ring. We're going to regenerate a little bit more health this turn. But as far as that Cloyster, I don't think we're going to be able to do too much to that either. That Cloyster is going to resist any sort of Aqua Jet we've got. Icicle Spear I'm not crazy worried about on Klefki. Skill Link makes it so that you're going to hit 5 times, and you can see how little damage that did. Not crazy worried about it. I kind of imagine that Cloyster is going to switch out. You've got one Pokemon that's paralyzed. you could switch out thinking that I'm going to go for T-Wave again. I was clearly going for Swagger there, assuming that he was going to switch out. A little bit of over-prediction on my part. But this is basically going to 4-hit. I guess maybe 3, especially if he gets a crit. But we're going to roll with it. We're going to get 2 Pokemon paralyzed off of this, set up a little bit. Get the Swagger in there, that did give +2. That's what I wasn't thinking of. +2 attack to an Icicle Spear. Ugh. That's why it was going to do that. Placer does have a pretty good defense, though. Crit Hacks definitely helps out. Shell Bell doesn't do that much. I'd like to have another item on Klefki, maybe a Citrus Berry or something. And I don't think it really matters what move I go with there. There's not a whole lot of planning and any internal, like, what am I thinking of? I was going for Play Rough just to see what kind of, if they were going to switch anything in. With a name like Garchomp, I imagine there's probably a dragon. I wasn't paying attention to the team too much. I'll be completely honest there. One thing that I do like about Klefki is the way that the keys are. You've got 4 different generations of keys that are on there, which I think is kind of funny. And we've already gotten some pretty good value out of Klefki, so losing Klefki at this point may not be that bad. If we get seeded, that's okay. Trevenant are really annoying. But I think we've gotten a lot of usefulness out of Klefki, so even if we lose Klefki to Leech Seed or Mega Horn or something, it's not going to be that bad. I don't know why I'm getting such crazy good crits. I love this harvest that's going on with these Trevenant that are out and about. I think they're crazy fun. But we're going to take a lot of damage now with Leech Seed and Burn. But I want to get rid of this Trevenant, so I'm going to stick it out. And no matter what switches in, I'm going to still take burn damage and get Leech Seeded. But you've got 1 turn left, and you're already burned. It's not a huge deal. But this Trevenant, if it doesn't switch out, it's gone. There it is. So not wanting to over-predict, I still went for Foul Play. And it's not going to be very effective, and I mean, he's going to regenerate basically the same amount of damage from Leech Seed, so he's going to be back up to full health. But I didn't want to overpredict. I wanted to still pose that threat to Trevenant if it didn't switch out, because you can still have like any sort of, oh, what is it? The horn one, the bug move that sucks the stuff and the stuff. But we do have a paralyzed Greninja. So he's got 2 paralyzed Pokemon, 1 KO'd Pokemon. So we've got a slight edge, but we're still not ahead by a huge margin. So I want, yeah, Horn Leech. That's the one, Horn Leech. I think we should outspeed the Greninja. So we should get our move off first. And we'll see what he switches into. I'm thinking it should be Trevenant. Yeah. So the Trevenant switch is predicting an Energy Ball from me, or any sort of grass move from me at all. So if I've got like Petal Blizzard, I'm locked into Petal Blizzard, and I'm going to have to just deal with it. Or Energy Ball doesn't do that much, and then he's got the opportunity to possibly get a Citrus Berry off. But Sludge Bomb's going to finish it off. And that's one of those things that you do have to be aware of when you're using Trevenant. Trevenant, I think, should be OU just because of Citrus Berry and Harvest. It's an awesome combo. The other things that I'm seeing with Harvest is Resto Chesto with Harvest, and I think those are pretty cool. I do have Thick Fat. So Mega Venusaur takes basically neutral damage, and this is a bold Mega Venusaur. So Mega Blaziken is a tough opponent. Brave Bird, we're dead. I forgot about Brave Bird. I scouted that out too. It's non-stab though. Oh no, we survived. Like I said, bold nature. Bold nature with EVs into special defense and defense, basically equally 160 into both of those, and then maxed out the rest of it into HP. So it's got a decent chunk of HP, but it is bold natured, so it resists. Because I really think that if you've got a resistance to fire and ice, your biggest weakness there is going to be Psychic, and most people are running Psyshock these days, it feels like. So if you've got somebody that's running Psyshock, they're expecting you to not be defensive bulky. And it's just kind of weird how that works out. Alright, so we got Fairy Steel in here. I know what I want to switch into. But I can't quite get there right away. So I might have to send in some Death Fodder, but I just don't know if I don't want to sacrifice Mega Venusaur just to get a safe switch. Oh hey, I need to change the win streak. I totally forgot. You guys didn't remind me. There we go. Now we're accurate. So we're not going to get anything really done with Marilyn in here. Marilyn's really in to kind of threaten out Blaziken as well as Talonflame. So having the threat of Aqua Jet and being able to resist your Brave Bird, or at least tank your Brave Bird, as well as resist your Flare Blitz, that's one of the biggest reasons that that's in there. And so now we bring out DIGGERSBYTHO, and I'm a big fan of Diggersby. I think he's awesome. He's got a lot of HP, so he resists things pretty well. Sucker Punch is going to not do that much damage, and EQ should finish off that Mawile. Especially without it being Mega Mawile. It's just not going to have the defense to take out a huge power Diggersby. And so now we do have to worry about Scald coming in. One of the biggest problems with running Diggersby against a Greninja is that Scald. If he burns you, you're screwed. Ice Beam's going to kill you, and then you're just kind of done. He is paralyzed, so we've got a 50-50 shot of surviving it, but I'm not going to play risky that way. I'm going to send in something that's basically going to resist whatever it throws out, because if we do have Thick Fat on Venusaur, we should be able to resist. And so that's not going to be a huge problem. If we get burned, we get burned. Mega Venusaur is a special attack Pokemon anyway. So you're going to take damage every turn, but losing that extra attack isn't going to be the problem. And we do have access to Synthesis as well, so we're just going to be able to regenerate all that health anyway. And I can't imagine anything on his team that would resist worse than Greninja. So this Mega Venusaur is a huge threat. And like I said, we do have Thick Fat, so it's going to do some damage, but not a huge amount. But that burn. So we can keep going with Synthesis, recovering basically 20 HP a turn, but I don't want to drag this out. We could stall it, but again, that's just not an issue. And so if we were going against a multi-scale Dragonite, that's going to hurt. But I imagine DD is going to come out. And so I've got the guaranteed damage, where if this is a multi-scale Dragonite, I might have been able to finish it off, but maybe not. So I'm just going to have to do some damage every turn, be able to stall it out for a little bit, do some damage, final shot with Mega Venusaur, and basically knowing that Greninja is not that strong, I mean, it kind of sucks. So we did have what I believe was an adamant-natured Dragonite that we went up against last battle, and we've got a timid Gengar. So Gengar should, or Dragonite with DD up, should outspeed us, especially if it's jolly-natured. But it's always worth it to take a shot. So I went with it. Timid Gengar is pretty fast, but not exactly the fastest out there. Alright, so with Scizor, we've got Bullet Punch with that priority there. He is maxed in attack and speed, so barely getting him finished off. I wasn't sure if he was going to do it or not. That was a little stressful. I really wasn't sure if he was going to be able to finish it off. I thought he was going to survive with like 3 or 4 HP. But if you're going with a bulky Dragonite, that's what you're going to end up with. So I was expecting our Scizor to be able to knock him down far enough for Toxic to finish it off. I was not expecting to finish him off just straight out. And he is paralyzed, not that strong, and so then you just go for the stab U-turn, which does 2 times as much damage. So there you go. Can we do the 2v2s? Right now I'm testing out the 6's team. We will get to some 2v2s as well, though.